always kick that proverbial can down the road. Now, you say it seems like Donald Trump is closer to getting it than Hillary Clinton by your definition, but either way, by the end of the year, whoever comes in will be coming into a recession.
I think whoever is elected will inherit a recession. After all, if you expect 4 years of no recession, that's 140 months from when the last one ended.
The argument that it could last long has been so weak to begin with, you could stretch it out.
You can't say that in light of what's going on in the world. We've got a deflationary recession emerging everywhere in the world. Japan, is an old age colony sinking into the sea. China is a massive speculative mania that's going to collapse any day.
Well, how do you think Donald Trump responds to China? You mentioned the fact that he thinks they're eating our lunch and taking advantage of us. We're on defense with them. Earlier in the campaign, he talked of tariffs against Chinese goods. He's dialed that back. But that he would ignite a trade war. And if you read the Chinese press, they're not fans of his. So he comes in. Are we looking at global trade friction?
Oh, I think there's going to be enormous friction. Because
with him?
With either Trump or Clinton.
So there's hell to pay no matter who gets it.
It doesn't matter. I mean, we have been living beyond our means for 30 years. We have built up...
So what makes it pop now?
It's only a matter of time. People said that in 2007. Don't worry, they'll muddle through. Remember Goldilocks? And then all of a sudden, wham, the bottom fell out, the meltdown happened, the panic was on.
So you think something like that could happen again?
Of course. I think
what would trigger it?
Every 6 years. It's hard to say what the black swan is, but right now, if we look at this economy, inventories are building up. If we look at transportation, for instance, rail traffic is down 10%, trucking traffic is down. Manufacturing has been negative for months. We should say that those who espouse the Dow theory and all that tells you if transportation goes, so goes the rest of the economy. Eventually the markets, and that has been heading south. But let me get your sense then, David, what we're in for here. Because the feeling seems to be that financial institutions won't suffer like they did in 08 and 09 because they have more money, more capital set aside for that. You say what? Well, the big banks do have more capital cushion, but the risk has just been offloaded elsewhere. Right now, you have trillions of new high-yield bond funds, trillions of credit funds that are taking on far more risk than is embedded in the yields that people are receiving. So I think you've just moved the risk to outside the banking system, to the non-bank financial system. It's out there. We have more junk bonds than ever before.
Well, let me ask you, if you were president of the United States, and you have Chicago on the ropes, we're going to get into this in the next segment, just like we had Puerto Rico as Commonwealth on the ropes, would you rescue them?
Would I rescue Chicago? Absolutely not. I mean, bailing out cities, bailing out states, bailing out Puerto Rico, bailing out Wall Street, the auto companies, the whole thing is wrong because it creates moral hazard. It creates...
What you do for one, others expect you to do for them.
And as a result, people take excess risk. They don't face reality. They live beyond their means. They use accounting trickery. And all the things that we know have happened in the past will continue to happen. You have to have financial discipline. And the way to destroy financial discipline is with bailouts when people get themselves in big trouble. I think the history is pretty clear, and I think the philosophy is pretty clear, but we've strayed from it entirely. So we have a huge...
You bless both parties for that.
Well, sure. We have $63 trillion of total debt in this economy. The public sector, counting state and local, is nearly $25 trillion. And we're getting old. The baby boom is retiring, 10,000 a day. Another 5 or 10 years, we're going to have a massive increase in the retired population. How do you fund all that? Who's going to pay the taxes? None of this is being focused on, and we're just drifting, as we have in the past, and sooner or later, you hit the wall.
Kind of bumming me out, Dave.
Well, those are the facts.
No, and you're good at them, and you have been warning to Republicans and Democrats alike. David Stockman,